how did it feel being, back out on stage and everything?
Oh, fantastic, right? I mean, it felt, yeah, it is mixed actually when you think about how it feels time wise. At the same time, we kept so busy during the pandemic, so you really didn't ever catch that. Oh shit, almost 2 years.
Hmm.
But at the
Hmm.
same time, walking out on stage and feeling that, you see the big crowd again, it's just like, oh yes,
Hmm.
here we are finally, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, it felt absolutely fantastic to be back.
that was a great feeling.
Yeah.
The thing is, in Sweden, we didn't really have lockdowns as such. We had restrictions, and that made it possible for us to continue rehearsal like every week as we always do.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that we had like a down period with playing music. But being on stage in front of thousands or hundreds, yeah, that was a downtime.
Yeah.
But it was great, as Madeline said. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a big change. So you guys actually did what most bands don't want to or didn't want to do during the actual height of the pandemic, and you did release an album. Did you do that just so you guys would have a chance to stay engaged with your fans and, keep them bringing new music during the difficult time? Or what was kind of the reasoning behind that?
Well, I mean, you're wording it as such as I would say, yeah, partly, but it wasn't like many think that we wrote the album during the actual pandemic, but it was written before the pandemic, and
Oh,
it was
okay.
also planned to be released
Hmm.
on that date, 2020,
Hmm.
before the pandemic
Yeah.
even happened.
Yeah. Exactly. All of that was scheduled and booked even before anything close to the pandemic.
Oh
So
yeah, even anything started with the
yeah.
pandemic.
So really, we just felt that when we were out on tour, when everything happened, by the way, in Europe, we had, I think we almost got through 3 weeks out of five, and then we had to cancel and go home for the rest. And then we, of course, very naturally, we talked about, okay, we
Hmm.
have the studio recordings scheduled for May. We're gonna do that either way since we actually could, because of no lockdowns. But we also said, should we wait with the
Hmm.
release? I mean, we will not be able to tour with this probably because
It's
no
true.
one knew anything, you know. If
Hmm.
people were talking about, like, yeah, this will be over by fall. I was like,
Oh yeah.
no, it will not. But very quickly, we decided to go on with our plans and just add two more singles and two more music videos because for us, we felt that we need to stay focused because letting everything go, having nothing like to focus on,
Hmm.
I felt in the beginning of the pandemic that I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna lose my complete sanity, really, because I need to work. I love our job,
Hmm.
with everything regarding music and the productions that we do. So we did the right call to do this to stay focused ourselves. But the beautiful thing was to actually see and hear the response from our fans and the new fans that discovered us as well. They, like, still today people are thanking us for releasing the music like we did because even if it was written before the pandemic, so many actually related to the songs during the pandemic since we write so much about mental health. And yeah, it's very powerful. I got chills right now because I know several of our fans, that are a part of Patreon. They actually really do remind us almost on a daily basis that you actually made me go through all this. It is thanks to you I survived this thing. People were losing their families during the pandemic. They lost their moms to this. And that is some heavy shit.
And many lost their livelihood, and it
Exactly.
basically lost hope.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, I mean, our music, we write it in such a way that it becomes empowering but not spot on the nose, because Madeline and I, we know how it is to be at rock bottom, and we write about what we know, what we feel, and what we see, and that becomes empowering for those
Mm.
who listens, apparently.
Yeah.
um
Right.
so when people it sounds cringy when you say it out loud, but when people come to us and say that I had lost all hope, your music saved me, thank you so very much, that is so powerful, and that is nothing I want to hide under the rug or anything like that.
Hmm.
So it's damn powerful that we decided to do that. Very risky, but
Very,
we are
yeah.
willing to take risks. We're not in this for anything else but the passion and love for music and being there to spread what we have to say.
Yeah, and I mean, despite no gigs, we had no gigs to
Mm.
promote the album even before or after. I mean, it is our best-selling album. It
Mm.
did very, very well, and to me, that really just it's powerful. We're very grateful, of course, we are. So
Yeah.
it felt like the right decision for us.
Definitely, I wouldn't want to. If I had to redo it, I would do it the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely worked out for you guys, and that's awesome. Did you notice that, speaking um with, because you mentioned is it Patron?
At
Or
Patreon.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, Patreon.
Yeah.
Um sorry, I don't really use streaming sites that much. But
No.
have you noticed that and as well as Twitch, like that was really what helped you guys stay connected and get the music out, get the album out? Did you notice that when you guys started using that, just the fan base and the response just boomed massively?
um, well, yeah, I mean, Patreon, first off, is not a streaming platform. It's like a locked community. So it's more like a fan club as it was back in the day, but today. So everyone pays a little small fee depending on which tier you're on. You have this
Yeah.
closed community where you get access to behind the scenes and virtual meet and greets and such. Um, but yeah, with Twitch and Patreon, to connect directly with your audience like that, super powerful, super powerful. And I can tell you that without Patreon, we would not have made it. We would not have made it at all. It is thanks to those guys that we can have this headquarters that you see here. This is the upstairs. This is the computer I use to, or we use to produce our music and create and all stuff like that. Downstairs we have a rehearsal area. So that would be impossible to keep without Patreon. And Twitch made it possible for us to actually put food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, Patreon, I mean, upon the release, speaking of, we could stay even more in touch.
Mm-hmm.
We did release our Patreon, I think it was August 2019.
Yeah.
And it grew, it went well. And then the tour happened, it grew even more. And then the pandemic hit. And people wanted to support, because they want to and they can.
Mm.
And they joined in. And then we noticed that we were building this fantastic community
Yeah.
of, we have a Discord chat server connected to it exclusively, so not everyone randomly can join. It is this little like space where you can feel free, where you can connect with others that share this same interest. Maybe you have different channels, some like nature, some like gaming, some like both, right?
Yeah.
It's beautiful to see. And the results from this is, of course, yes, they support us. We are able to be here, continue our work on a daily basis. But we have seen that they're finding each other at gigs. They decide to meet up before, and some of
Oh,
them
that's
say,
awesome.
it's so sweet.
It's
I get
great.
chills when I think about
Yeah.
hearing them say, I've never had friends, and now I have several, to go to gigs with. Powerful. I'm so grateful for it. It's beautiful.
That is amazing. I can't tell you how many times I've had to go to shows just alone because no
Right?
friends wanted to go with me.
Exactly.
Exactly, exactly. And it doesn't have to be friends you stay in touch with on a daily basis,
Mhm.
but here they have found people that they know, okay, I am coming to this gig. Are you going? Because we're gonna grab something to drink before and then we're heading there.
Yeah.
It's they call themselves the Eleine Legion, and it's beautiful to know that even if not friends on a daily basis, they still have each other, it's very beautiful.
Yeah, that definitely is. Um, I did want to take a second and talk about the new EP coming out.
Sure.
Congratulations on that. That's absolutely awesome. Um,
Hey.
what kind of what emotions are you guys going through? Because it's coming out like in a little over a week, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
October 14th.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
I mean, we've done this a couple of times before, and we're a very DIY band. So I mean, it's just a lot of work. That's where we're at right now in our heads. Of course, it is exciting. I mean, with an acoustic release, also, every release we're like, we have no idea if listeners or potential new listeners will like it, because we always write what we feel is correct for the time. This feels right. Let's go for it. We never sit down as Madeleine say on a Monday and go through. All right, what do people like? What do they want? The thing is that people mostly don't know what they want until they hear it, and perhaps maybe it is something that we can provide.
Hmm.
And I really do believe that, though. I mean,
Yeah, and
it's not
it's
that we're uncertain, it's just that you actually never know.
yeah, and the thing is that it is all about where you put your focus. You know,
Yeah,
we have put our focus in doing what feels right to us.
yeah.
Whatever comes out, that is what we want to create. And we have a vision with Elaine, and we've always had. So it's not like we need to ask ourselves like, what do people want to hear? Because if they want to hear Elaine, they come to us.
Yeah.
If they
Hmm.
want to hear Arch Enemy, they go to Arch Enemy.
Or to us,
Yes, right?
and
And
vice
that is
versa.
exactly, and that is the good thing with people having different tastes and all. But
Mm.
we have decided to stay true to what we're doing, and if people like it, thank you very very much. If you don't like it, that is totally fine. We will not hate you. You know, it's
No.
totally fine.
And this acoustic release is only because it came to be because of the tour we have with Sonata Arctica,
Yeah,
starting October
20.
20th and
Yes.
going on for 7 weeks.
Yeah, and we're going out in Europe, and it was supposed to take place last year, 2021, and that was possible because of all the restrictions still being there.
Hmm.
So when it was postponed, we looked at each other and we're like, "Yeah, we're gonna make a release out of this," you
Yeah.
know, because we had already rearranged. The entire set was still there, you know, so why not just do that?
Mm.
So we did, and we're very happy that we did because it was, first of all, it was very fun. Like, it was a challenge. I can tell you that, to make our very majestic and epic music into this very raw, stripped down, authentic songs. But we are very happy with the results because, I mean, I am freaking excited about releasing About Death, you know,
I
next
am.
week,
Yeah.
because I like it. You know, to me, that is still metal. The song is still metal, but no distorted guitars or anything. But still, I get a metal vibe. I still want to run into an audience, just go like crazy, and that is the beauty of it. I really think so.
Hmm.
So it came pretty naturally to actually do this thing, you know,
Oh yeah.
and the fans were super excited. Also, it's very very sweet. They're
Oh,
so
I bet. I'm excited too. It's not very often that you get a band that does a lot of metal to do an acoustic song, so it's like it's a weird change, but at the same time it's just like you love it at the same time.
yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean,
Yeah.
it was very important for us to keep it raw and authentic. So I believe almost that is what you're telling us right now. So thank you
Hmm.
very much for
Yeah.
that.
And
Yeah, of
I mean,
course.
our music, I mean, if you listen to Dancing in Hell and Until the End and whatnot, I mean, it has a certain groove to many of the songs. I mean, even if we're Rotting Corpse Live from Dancing in Hell as an
Mm.
example, it is very like double pedal, you know, it goes pretty quick there, but it still has a groove.
Hmm.
And I just love that we could bring that groove to the front, you know, and making even more obvious.
Mm.
Because as I said, when we rearranged the songs, like, yeah, I feel this in my hips, you know, I can dig to this. It is nice because it is something that happens to you, like energy wise and mood wise, when you hear something and just feel this, yeah, this is nice, right?
Hmm.
It makes you happy, even if you
Yeah.
want to run into the pit and just mosh pit away. I mean, you get
Yeah, mosh pit to acoustic song though. That would be a good sight to see though.
close for your
100%.
people.
Um, did you guys find like having any difficulties in the recording process for it though because it was so acoustic? Was there any like issues that you guys ran into, or was it kind of just got into the recording studio and just like, all right, let's do this. We don't have to like plug anything in. Like this is so much easier.
A little bit of both, actually. The thing is that we are always very well prepared for what we have in front of us. We set the recording period for 5 days,
Yep.
and we knew that we had 5 days to make it happen. And the main thought was to have everyone in the same room, Madeleine behind a kind of like glass wall or something, so that we all can like make a live session of it.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we came into a little bit of snag there with the vocal parts because Madeline and my one of Madeline and my cats became very ill and had to be monitored 24/7, and this occurred like what 2-3 weeks
Yeah.
before actual recording, and that Madeline and I hadn't slept for 3 weeks, and Madeline had to stay home while me and the rest of the band was at the studio to record it all at once. So we did that live session kind of thing. That's why you hear that kind of live vibe to it. And Madeline was at home monitoring our cat, and also through Link being there to produce, because Madeline and I also produce everything. So she was there listening in, and we recorded our stuff in about what?
Yeah, it was 4 days.
4 days. Yeah, 4 days. And then we went home, and Madeline, you take over now.
All right. Well, I drove there myself. It was 4 hours away. I have no idea how I did it. I was so tired because while we're saying that we didn't sleep for like 2-3 weeks, we woke up every second hour to take care of her, monitoring her, give her meds, and cleaning up poop. Stuff happens and stuff like that when they're on meds. It was very heartbreaking. So you could really feel that, holy shit, I'm not here right now, But I drove the 4 hours. And I was super excited, and we did the vocal recordings in 3 hours. And after that, I totally passed out in the bed in the studio. And Rikard were with me via Link as well. Yeah. So it wasn't exactly how we planned it, but almost. And it's not because it was acoustic. It was because of what happened to our cat.
Oh yeah.
Because we had planned the 5 days, do this live studio session thing, from start to finish with all the songs. It really did become that for the guys. And the only challenge for me was really that since they're playing live, you cannot go with a click like with the rhythm thing, because I noticed that they are tight, they play tight, but it's still very alive. And I need to be that too when it comes to the vocal parts, because when it's metal, it can be more like this, right? But it's when it is this acoustic, very organic vibe, you need to be a little bit flowy. So that was a fun challenge. I did it. It went very well, but it was fun to just turn the click off and just go with the vibes, feel it in your hips, and just go with the flow.
Oh, yeah.
I had a great time. So I wouldn't say we actually had any challenges or difficulties because it was acoustic. It was only because of what happened in our private life. But,
and I can tell you that it would have sounded exactly the same. The only difference is that it took longer.
It took 1 day longer.
It took longer. That was, we would have done it the same way otherwise. You would have been like closed off.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but it worked out. It worked very well.
It was interesting. The first time we ever did an acoustic kind of thing, and it was nice to play it all together all at once. Really nice.
Yeah, it was.
And
you
also,
did it very well.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm kind of a perfectionist also. So when I record my guitars, otherwise in the studio with electric guitar, I can do takes forever. I can do no again. But you can't do that in a acoustic live kind of setting, because you hear everything. You can't cut whatever you want.
No,
so the thing is, what you hear is actually what you get when you hear us live, and that is very, very cool.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. I have to ask real fast, is your cat okay?
Yes.
Yes.
She's
Okay.
still on meds, but she's still alive. She's very happy.
Thank you very much for asking.
Thank you.
Okay, good. That's good.
Yes, she's doing good. She is a chunky baby right now.
Yeah, she's gained the weight she lost. I'm very happy for that.
Oh goodness. Well, as long as she's okay, that's good.
I've been thinking about that the entire story.
A little bit. I was just sitting here waiting. I was like, is there gonna be a bad ending to this story or not? Like, that's what I was waiting for.
She is no more No, this is nice. You don't reveal in Shutter Island that Leonardo is the guy in the beginning.
No spoilers.
I bet she's seen it.
That movie's been out for so long now. I think it's okay to have a spoiler in it now. Still a good movie though. I actually just
Yes.
recently watched that, so that's kind of amazing that you just
Really?
mentioned Shutter Island. Yeah. I have
Oh.
a good friend who's never seen it before, and he saw like randomly on like Instagram or iFunny or something, he saw like the ending scene where he says like the ending line, and he was like, I don't get it. I was just like, hold on, we need to watch the entire movie.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he was just like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We watch it. Yeah.
Um, but question though, so great the cat is doing okay. Do you guys ever think that because of how much fun you had recording the acoustic song, do you think you guys would be looking into doing more of this down the road and potentially putting some of these songs in a tour?
Like the entire tour we're going for now, which is not Antarctica, will be acoustic since it's their acoustic adventures tour. We were invited, and then this happened, you know. So it's really
Hmm.
all because of them, really. But it's gonna be so exciting. So yes, we're taking the entire acoustic album now on tour, and after that, we have no plans at
No.
all to make any acoustic anymore. But you should never say never because the beautiful thing when it comes to like EPs and stuff like that is that you have that kind of freedom to just mix and do whatever you feel like. I mean, our All Shall Burn EP was two new songs. It was one cover of Rammstein, and we had two tracks that was symphonic versions, only symphonies and my vocals. I love that EP because it really includes everything that is Eleine, but
And
in a very free way.
yeah. And my vocals also.
And your
Yeah.
vocals also,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I'm also.
And so you never know when you're out and about, you've made tours, you have written a new album. Who knows what you feel is the right thing to do right there
Probably
and
not.
then? Who knows, right? Because the acoustic vibe, it is very appreciated now. It's very sweet to hear,
Sure.
but we can never say what we're about to do in 20 years, right? I mean,
Jesus, no.
exactly. Maybe we have our own festival and we want to start the festival with a very small, cool acoustic set for the VIPs. And then we're going to end the festival with a big gig with lots of pyros. Who knows, right? No one knows. So, but nothing planned after the tour and after this one.
Hmm. Okay, and then that's kind of pretty much the end of my my questions that I
Yeah,
have. But
See.
but we're all so excited for the tour. I personally am excited to see you guys on the road. And I just want to thank you again for, taking the time to sit down and speak with me. Before we do end this and everything, is there anything you guys want to say to the fans, shout out to mom or something like that?
Well, we always thank our fans for being the best fans in the world. They're so supportive, they're so sweet, they're so beautiful. They really remind us each and every day why we're doing this, even when we're going through struggles in life. I mean, life happens. They are right there to remind us. And a lot of us this year, Rickard and I, but also tons of our fans, especially on Patreon, because they show us, have done this tattoo, which is our symbol. So it's very beautiful to know that we have that as a constant reminder. And so we thank all our fans. Remember, everyone that might hear this, that this is an in-between albums thing we're doing just because of this tour we're invited on. And next year, a lot more will happen. You can expect new music from Eleine next year. And about you, Nix, we would like to talk to you next year again because this was great. We really
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
I would
Yeah.
love to.
Yeah, so I think we should say like, yeah, this was great, but let's talk soon, right?
Yeah, definitely.